So we just learned about the three nervous system states: the ventral vagus, social connection, feeling safe state, the dorsal shutdown freeze, and the sympathetic fight flight. So this practice is using the breath to come out of the sympathetic fight flight response. So, this is an example of why it's important for us as practitioners to be able to recognize what state a client is in. Because if they are actually in a shutdown freeze response, then this breathing practice could bring them further down into that dorsal freeze response. But it's very good for when somebody's very worked up, anxious, fearful, just can't seem to settle their nervous system. So, it's pretty instinctual, I think, when somebody is worked up that we suggest or we, tell ourselves, okay, take a deep breath. But that isn't exactly right, actually. So typically, if we tell somebody to take a deep breath, what do? They go, if they're already worked up. That's generally the pattern of breath that we'll see. And that actually is the opposite of helpful. Because if you think about it, when we are startled or scared, what does our breath normally do? We normally take a deep breath in, right? Because we're startled. So that can actually work to activate the fight flight response more. So what we actually want to do is take a normal breath in, but then take a longer exhale. That's the key. That actually physiologically tells our body that we are safe, there's no danger, and we can calm down. So, again, if you think about if we get startled and we take that deep breath in, and then we realize it's okay, there's nothing happening, we go, and we spontaneously take that long, deep breath out. So we can do that intentionally to calm down our nervous system. And so we call it 4-8 breath. It doesn't have to be 4-8 exactly, but that's just a good way to help us remember that the exhale needs to be longer than the inhale. So we'll just practice this for a few breaths. So this is a practice that is more about taking the balls out of the jar, as we talked about in our introduction to this week. It is not as much about building capacity. So this is something that is really helpful in the moment. And if somebody is really struggling with a lot of anxiety, when that level starts going up, that fight flight response goes up, they can use their breath to calm them down. And then, then they can move forward with other things that are supportive. So let's just do this a few breaths and see how it feels. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice your starting point. And then we'll do a few breaths and then notice how you feel after. So just taking a normal breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the long, slow exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Normal breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Long, slow exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can also experiment with the exhale. You can make like a sighing sound, like and that actually is beneficial because, as we have just learned, the vagus nerve travels through and very close to the vocal cords. So using those sighing sounds, toning, things like that can actually really support your nervous system function as well. So again, just taking a moment to check in with yourself and see what effect, if any, this practice might have had for you. Noticing any shifts in your energy, your physical body, your mental or emotional state. How does your nervous system feel? If you were more on the fight flight end of things, do you feel more calm? I do. Um, and feel free to share, share in the comments or share in the Facebook group. So that's our community and venue for sharing, and we would love to hear your thoughts on this breathing practice. And it's so simple. And once people understand the physiology of why a long, slow exhale is more beneficial, they can, really easily use this tool in their daily life.